What's going on, guys? I want to start this video off explaining I know that I try to be a comedian. I know I try to be funny, try to be entertaining, and also give a good positive message, but I want to state that this video is very serious. I'm such a jokester that I feel like when I'm talking about something that is really important to me and that I'm passionate about, and that's very serious, I have to say it right off the bat so people know where I'm coming from, because I'm really silly most of the time, but right now I'm being serious. And if you didn't read the description and you didn't see the title of the video, I wanted to give a warning about that as well. This video is about suicide, so if you are not able to listen to that or don't want to, please go ahead and stop the video now. But I want to talk about it because it's very important to me, and it's something that is just clearly on the rise as more and more people are very, very unhappy, and society keeps making mental health kind of, just this weird thing that people don't want to talk about. People don't want to express that they are human beings with problems just like everybody else. And so we walk around and we feel alone. And these are the reasons why, a part of the reasons why I make these videos. And I know I joke around a lot, but the underlying message in most of my videos is I'm working on my mental health and my physical health, which I believe both are tied together and just as important. So I'm trying to work on that. And suicide, though, such a big thing, and it just getting real deep here, but it was over a year ago. I'm not good at remembering exact time, so it's probably even longer, but it was a moment not too far away that I actually almost really went through all the way with killing myself. And I haven't talked to a lot of people about it, just a few close friends, because the subject came up and I felt like I needed to tell them. But I haven't told a lot of people about it. I think having suicidal thoughts in general in our society is sort of an embarrassing thing to talk about. You feel like you're weak. You feel like other people would never understand, especially if you're someone like me that has put on a show for most of my life, being the happy, jolly fat guy that's there to say all the jokes and take on all your problems and tell you that everything's gonna be okay, but on the inside is a storm of sadness and pain that I can't even describe, that I'm just trying to hold down and not let anybody see. And then it just erupts in such horrible ways that I treat people like shit, and I make horrible decisions that I normally wouldn't make. So suicide, if you've never felt like you wanted to end your life, I don't blame people for not having a perspective on wanting to do it. When I was younger, I knew of people that had ended their lives, and I even had an uncle that had killed himself, and that really had me thinking about it a lot. Not doing it, but just why would someone do it? I could never see myself being that way. How could he do that when we love him? People love him. He has friends and family. How could he leave them behind to deal with that pain? So when someone kills themselves, there's people that are close to them that are sad. They're angry. They're confused. They can't understand why somebody would do something like this because they would never do it. Well, that was me for most of my life. I didn't try to judge people by their decisions of trying or actually going through with it. I tried my hardest not to judge because I didn't know. After being in that position and seeing how I felt in those moments, I truly understand now. Because I've had moments where I thought about it and I wanted to do it, and I just couldn't even get close to doing it. But I had wrote many suicide letters in my life, just being depressed, feeling so alone and not talking to anybody about my problems and thinking it was the easiest way to end the pain and the suffering. And I never went through with it, thankfully. But more recently, like I said, it was about a year, maybe a little more than that, I was very close for the first time, and it was scary. I had gone through a breakup in a very toxic relationship. I was trying many different medications, trying to get control of how I was feeling, realizing that the medicine was not helping me and it was making things worse. So I had been taken off the medicine. I went through a breakup. I had been home alone. You know, my sister and my buddy, they went on vacation for a long time. I was home alone, didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I had people who wanted to talk to me. They knew I was lonely, but I just didn't. I was shut down, and I was in such pain. I can't explain the pain that I was in. And there was such an empty void. And I'm sure a lot of it had to do with coming off of the medicine that I was taking from my therapist and just everything mixed together. But there was just such an empty void that I have never experienced. And then on top of all of that, I was dealing with the fact that I had gained most of my weight back. Before that, I'd lost getting close to 300 pounds. And then I went through, 3 years of dark, deep depression, eating, and just punishing myself until I got close to being 600 pounds again. And after breaking through that and feeling so good and doing it in front of like a public audience for the most part, it was just embarrassing and sad. And that person inside of me, that evil twin that always talked shit and was saying that I should kill myself, it was the loudest voice that I've ever heard. And I was so empty and in so much pain, and that voice just kept getting louder and louder. So I wrote my suicide note like I've done plenty of times before, but this time I knew that I needed to drink alcohol and I needed to get that extra step, hoping that I'd go through with it. And not to just cut out all the details, but I basically was about to hang myself. And in that moment, when I put the rope around my neck in the garage and I was gonna do it, I just couldn't do it. And I am so thankful every single day that I didn't do it. I thought about the family that would find me, the people that would be sad, my family and friends, the people that look up to me, the people that I look up to being just disappointed. I thought about so much different things, and I just couldn't do it. In that moment, I wanted to live. And that's how I live my life every single day. And I talk to other people who need support because I know what it's like to be alone. So if you're watching this and you feel alone, you're not. If you think you don't have family members, you think you don't have friends, you can go online and find support groups. There's so many people out there that are just like you, that are going through so many different things, that want to talk to somebody else and that are willing to support somebody else. And if you think I'm lying and there isn't, talk to me, because I'm here. I talk to so many people all the time. I try to support as many people as I can. I've had people tell me that talking to me helped them decide to not kill themselves. Now, I don't know how true that is. I'm not saying they're liars. I'm just saying I wasn't around them. I don't know. But I've had multiple people tell me this. And if this is true, if just one person did not kill themselves and they felt love for themselves and they found happiness in some way by talking to me, that right there makes it all worth it to not end, that I didn't end my life, and I feel so happy about that. But on top of that, I'm bettering myself. I finally said, I don't want to die, but I don't want to live an unhappy life, feeling empty and alone and just not working on things. So I finally crawled out of that hole and I started working on things very, very slowly. And if you're watching, you know that I've lost a little bit of weight, and I'm feeling so much better for it already. But it's not even that. It's the little bit of work that I've been putting in towards my mental health, because I know, I obviously have a problem. So I'm working on it every single day, and I feel so much better about it. So if you feel alone, if you're having those thoughts, you need to tell somebody. You need to find support. You need to talk. You need to get it out, and you need to work through it, because life is beautiful and it's worth living, I'm telling you. So if you're feeling that way, please reach out. And if you feel like you have nobody, reach out to me, because I love you. Okay, you have someone that loves you. And I care about what you're going through. And if anyone understands, I just told my story right here about how I almost did it myself. So I'm here, and I love you, and you deserve to live.